Good. What's going on? What are we talking about? What show?
There's some show that's like ending this
No,
year.
don't tell me that. I just found that out.
The show's ending?
It was really, I know. I just found that out. It was really depressing.
But apparently it's, we all are feeling like we need crisis counseling because of it.
That's good.
So,
That's good.
tell us about crisis counseling.
Well, we started planning the crossover earlier than we ever have because we know it's 5 hours. It's, based on the most, seminal, important, I think, DC comic book story. It requires a lot of planning. It requires a lot of care. And, as always, we approach it from the standpoint of don't screw it up. We assembled this amazing writers, showrunners, writers, and we worked and crafted, I think a very, a really cool story that, honors not just the Arrowverse, but honors the fact that it's got to be more than just the Arrowverse. It has to touch other corners of the DC universe, and I'm really excited. It's probably the most important thing I've ever worked on. So the pressure is enormous.
In terms of mapping it out, obviously you normally have a full season plus the crossover, so you have different pieces moving. But now you only have 10 episodes and the crossover in the middle of it. How did you go about breaking pieces into the right place and just finding the strategic elements?
That's a good question. I think we started talking a lot about it being like a short order, like a streaming show, 8 to 10 episodes, and we knew where the crossover landed, we knew where the finale landed, obviously, and it was just a matter of, okay, this is the landscape we have to work with. What do we want to do? What do we want to accomplish in that space? And it's always been the most amazing staff, and everyone just rolls their sleeves up and gets it done.
When you're going into a final season of a show, there's always that, okay, who's going to be coming back? Who are we going to... So, how do you go about selecting, like a character like Prometheus, for example, how do you go about selecting, okay, who's going to come back for this final season?
That's a good question. And it's tough because, at the end of the day, and, Twitter doesn't want to hear about this, and I don't think the audience certainly wants to hear about this, but, you have a certain amount of money, and you've got actors who are available and some who are not available, and some are working on other projects, and there's just realities that you have to deal with, and you go into it with your wish list, and then reality intrudes and cuts down that wish list. But I think we love Jason, we love the character of Prometheus. You're seeing a different version of Prometheus than you've seen before, I will say, in the series premiere. But it's I said Jason. I meant Josh. It's been a long Comic-Con.
Every single person has said that because you were all shooting last night.
We're all exhausted. Yeah. We're all exhausted, and we're lucky we're able to get the name of the show correct at this point. But Josh is amazing. We've always loved him, and he was always on our short list when we said we want to revisit certain moments and certain characters. So we're just lucky that we were able to get him because he's a talented guy and he's busy, and there were other shows out there.
Can you tell us about any other characters that might be coming back to make an appearance in the final season?
I can tell you that Monica Garrett is going to reprise his role as the Monitor in the crossover, but he's also going to play the Anti-Monitor as well. And that's the big bad of the crossover. And you're going to see a lot of familiar faces. Really the goal of season 8 we're looking forward, but we're really looking backwards to look forwards, and we're acknowledging sort of all the greatest hits and all the key moments of the show, and that includes a lot of key characters and familiar faces. Again, we're always working with the limitations that we have of reality, but I'm really excited. I'm thrilled that we're the people who are coming back. They're family. It's wonderful to see them again.
Did you have to script out every? How did you break it in terms of the episodes between because of such a tight schedule? Did you have to actually script further out than you traditionally would, or is it just the outline and then go?
I think in a perfect world we would have scripted out further than we usually would. It's just hard to do given the timeline that we're operating with. I would say everything has been broken out in advance. We know what each episode is, and that's more unusual than not. Usually it's more like we know the general tentpoles of the season. We know, like, this is episode 6, this is episode 13, this is episode 21. This was more like we know it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 1. Cool.
We're going to wrap it up here. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.